What is going on, y'all? It's your man Mike Titan, the gaming savant, and today we are talking NFL, precisely the NFC. I will be previewing the NFC, give y'all my picks on the division and who I see coming out the NFC to represent that conference in the Super Bowl. So let's start off with quite possibly, in my opinion, probably the least talent, maybe the worst division in the NFC, and that's going to be the NFC South. So you got your Atlanta Falcons, Saints, Panthers, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, the Buccaneers coming off of a, believe, 4-12 season. First number one overall picking famous Jameis Winston. Now, I don't think he'll have a horrible rookie season, but don't expect him to throw like 30 touchdowns and 30 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, anything like that. I think the Bucs will probably finish again either 4-12, maybe 5-11. I think they'll improve a couple of games, but I don't think they have a shot to win this division. Of course, they got the fantastic Mike Evans, Vincent Jackson, Doug Martin had a really good preseason, so I think he's going to be a workhorse. Of course, on defense, you got Levante David, Gerald McCoy, Alteron Werner. So they do have a really good core of young defensive players, but I still think they're maybe 2 or 3 years away. They did get Logan Mankins last year in the trade from the Patriots, but I think they still got too many holes to fill. You know, they need some more safety help because they lost Mark Barron to free agency, I believe. They also need a good tight end. I mean, you know, the tight end from Washington, Jenkins, he's okay, but he's not going to be your every down type of tight end. So I have the Bucs finishing last in this division. Next up, you have the New Orleans Saints. Of course, the big news, they traded Jimmy Graham for Max Unger in the first round pick. They still have Brandon Cooks and Marcus Colston. They did get CJ Spiller in the offseason. They did re-sign Mark Ingram. So they still have a very good offense, but that defense, man, I don't know what they're going to do with that defense. I mean, they're probably going to do what they tried to do last year, Rob Ryan, and just blitz until you can't blitz anymore. But I honestly see that team as being maybe a middle-of-the-road team, maybe 8-8, maybe 7-9. It'll be interesting to see how the defense works because I feel like they'll be able to put up points. The real question is, will they be able to stop anybody from putting up points? Next, you have the Carolina Panthers, last year's division winner. Of course, they had Kelvin Benjamin out for the season with the injury, so Cam Newton's gonna be looking for Greg Olsen for his number one target. Still light at the running back, you got Jonathan Stewart, but there's no telling how injury, if he's gonna be able to last a full season or get injured again. With D'Angelo Williams going to the Steelers, now he has a number one role. He's gonna look to get more carries. Will he be able to handle that carry load, or is he just gonna break like he did all the last couple of seasons? On defense, they just re-signed Luke Kuechly to a major deal, so he's going to be there. You still got Charles Johnson. Last year, you had Josh Norman play really well, and then Benowinky, he has a funny last name. The other corner on the other side, he's done very well. It'll be interesting to see how that team does. Of course, they have an amazing offense. You got Cam Newton, but he doesn't really have the targets. Like I said, they have Kelvin Benjamin. They have Duchess, the wide receiver that they drafted. I don't know if the offense will be enough to put up points. They'll be able to stop people. I'll give them that. They'll probably be, maybe a top 15, maybe top 20 defense in the league, but I don't know where this offense is going to go because you don't want to have it to where you have to have Cam Newton run options like 6 or 10 times a game and putting him in harm's way. He is a big guy, but I mean, this is the NFL. Even the biggest quarterbacks can get hurt, so we'll see with that. And then next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons, who in my opinion, I think will be the sleeper of this year's team. Of course, you got Julio Jones. He read up in the offseason. Roddy White, Matty Ice, Matt Ryan. Then they got a trio of running backs. You have Antonio Freeman. You have Telvin Coleman, the rookie that they drafted. And then you have, I'm blanking on the other running back, but they pretty much have a 3 running back system. Their offense will be pretty good. It'll be interesting to see because they lost their left tackle Sam Baker to injury last year. So he's coming off the injury. It'll be interesting to see how that offensive line holds up because the Atlanta Falcons, they have the pieces on offense. They just need to, get their offensive line right, make sure they can protect Matt Ryan, get a running game going. And then on defense, of course, you got Desmond Trufant, very good corner. They drafted Vic Beasley Jr. for a right end, so he'll bring some pass rushing off the edge. Other than that, like I said, that defense is really interesting to see how they're going to be. Will they be able to stop anybody? But they're my dark horse for the division. So I actually have the Falcons winning this division. I think they'll either win it 9-7 or 8-8. I think this will be, one again, like last year, the only division to have a team win with either an 8-8 record or a sub 500 500 record and be able to host a game in the playoffs.